You know, some wins are just about getting the 3 points and moving on. But then there are wins that feel like they can change the entire direction of a season. Today, we are diving deep into one of those. It's a story about a team right on the edge, a match hanging by a thread, and one player who, in the 94th minute, decided to take matters into his own hands. This is the story of Valverde's last gasped miracle. This quote from the coach, Álvaro Arbeloa, really tells you everything you need to know about the mood before a single ball was even kicked. Seriously, this wasn't just another game. It felt like a siege. The pressure was on, the atmosphere was, let's just say, tense. And it really felt like Real Madrid was battling a lot more than just the team they were facing. So to really get why this was such a miracle, you first have to understand just how close to a crisis they were. This game against Celta Vigo came at a moment of, well, insane pressure. A time when the whole season felt like it was about to just fall apart. And what's wild is just how quickly things had gone wrong. First, there was a tough loss away at Osasuna. Then the real shocker, a 1-0 defeat at home to Getafe. And after that came the whistles. I mean, can you imagine? The sound of your own fans in your own stadium turning on you. With back-to-back losses, the La Liga title was starting to look like a distant dream. The pressure on Arbeloa and his players was just massive. Okay, so the stage is set. Let's get into the match itself. For a little bit, it actually looked like they were going to give the perfect answer to all the critics. You know, a chance to shut everyone up and get the season right back on track. Just 11 minutes into the game, Tchouaméni gets the ball and unleashes this beautiful curling shot from the edge of the box. It's perfect. It flies into the back of the net. It's 1-0 Madrid. It was a moment of pure class, but more than that, it was a moment of pure relief. You could almost hear the collective sigh. Maybe, just maybe, this was it. The turning point. Yeah, it wasn't. That feeling of hope that filled the air after that amazing goal, it vanished pretty quick. Celta Vigo striker Borja Iglesias, he scores the equalizer. And just like that, all that anxiety, all that pressure, it all came flooding right back. And what happens next is the game just gets stuck in this tense, frustrating deadlock. The clock is ticking down, and this very real possibility of dropping points for a third straight game is starting to feel inevitable. You could almost feel the desperation setting in on the pitch. And this is the moment. This is the moment. This is where the story flips from being a potential disaster to becoming the stuff of legend. In the last dying seconds of the game, with failure just staring them in the face, one player decided he wasn't having it. So, we're into stoppage time now. The team looks completely gassed. It really looks like they're about to drop points again. The gap with Barcelona at the top of the table is about to get even bigger. Their title hopes are hanging by the thinnest of threads. It all feels, well, over. And then, the clock hits the 94th minute. The absolute final seconds, maybe one last chance. This is the kind of moment where seasons are defined and heroes are made. Federico Valverde. He gets the ball from way out and he just lets one rip. It takes a little deflection and the ball flies into the net. Pandemonium. An absolute explosion of relief and pure joy. Just like Arbeloa said, in that one single moment, Valverde literally put the entire team on his back and dragged them, kicking and screaming, to a victory. So yeah, the final whistle blows, it's a 2-1 win. But the impact of that goal went so far beyond that stadium. This wasn't just a win, it was a lifeline. It was a massive statement to the rest of the league. And here's why it was such a massive deal. That win slashed the gap to the league leaders, Barcelona, to just a single point. Think about that. In the space of one deflected shot, Real Madrid went from the edge of a full-blown crisis to being right back in the hunt for the title. You could just tell how much it meant by what Arbeloa said after the game. Comparing Valverde to Juanito, I mean, for those who don't know, he's a club icon, famous for his heart and his fighting spirit. That's about the highest praise you can get. It basically cemented Fedi's status not just as the guy who won the match, but as someone who represents the very spirit of Real Madrid. And if you wanted one more almost poetic detail to this whole story, this incredible last-second victory just happened to fall on the club's 124th anniversary. I mean, you couldn't write it better. A perfect way to celebrate that history, fighting against everyone and winning right at the very end. So it all leaves you with this one huge question. When we look back at the end of the season, are we going to pinpoint this one deflected shot in the 94th minute as the single moment of magic, the one bit of luck that won them the league title? Well, I guess only time will tell.